And we are back. It's been 9 months. Me, Derek, Connor, Gabe. We are finally doing our mid-season hockey recap. I mean, technically this is end of season, but we're going to call it mid-season. We tried, I promise you, we've tried to do this multiple times. This is the best day and we're finally doing it. So be prepared. We're going to do a 3-parter here. We're going to recap the season to date, all the shenanigans that have happened, Olympics, etc., etc. As always, we will do a big Canucks recap. And then...
That's why it took so long.
It's true. It's true.
Crying a little bit inside and just trying to get over a nasty... Is this a breakup? I don't even know.
It's true.
No, it is a breakup. But it's like...
We broke up with the fantasy of being good.
And then to just wrap up the pod, we will go over and just see where we're all at with our over-under predictions and our awards predictions and who's the closest so far before we wrap that up in the summer. All right, so tune in.
I just want to say I'm wearing a full bluey onesie.
It looks great.
Just for the viewers at home. Dax is in a really cool Kucherov jersey.
As always.
And I'm in this.
Yeah. So I didn't know we were supposed to dress up.
We were not told about that.
No, there was no
We've organized this for weeks. And you guys don't talk about this?
I'll be honest, I literally... Juliet was really wanting me to wear this, and then I was like, I'm going to wear it on the podcast. So that's how
One time she can't see.
All right, let's go.
I guess let's get started. So we're going to start with our NHL recap. I think the best place to start is where we are to date. I'm going to go right off my notes here. Let's start with the Olympics, because I think that was a big 2-week break that we had in February, and obviously we all know America beat Canada to win the Olympics, but what was everybody's Olympic experience this year?
I mean, for me, I thought it was overall, like, ideally we don't lose the gold medal game. I enjoyed the Olympics. I thought that like, I don't know, for me, one of the things that stands out thinking back on it is what McKinnon said after the game about the better team lost. I kind of like, he's not wrong in saying that, but I think he's wrong in literally saying that, if that makes sense to you. And I don't know. I don't know what to say other than, like, it sucks we just lost.
Hard not to still just reap on the gold medal loss, but overall, I enjoyed the tournament, and it was great to have it back to the best-on-best tournament.
Except for Russia.
Hockey. Yeah, either way, still, it was a good tournament, and I thought even, we had some crazy moments in the tournament for Canada. It was exciting and also fucking hella stressful at times, but it was really fun to watch. This the best on best. Like, I had no problem tuning in to watch Czech play Sweden and just enjoying the game.
Well, also goes to show, America basically won this whole tournament with a phenomenal goaltender on fire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
doubled down. But if you
it's
have
kind of funny, like,
that,
Hellebuck has been basically just the best goalie in hockey for years now, and he really never showed up in the big moments, at least for Winnipeg when it mattered.
That's true.
And even in the Four Nations, I mean, he was good, but Binnington outdueled him. And it was just like, it kind of felt like a little bit like when I personally felt like when it felt he was impossible to beat during that game, I was like, well, I guess it's about time. Yeah. Like, there's a reason that he's the best in the world, and yet he hadn't had that big moment game. Unfortunately, it came at the hands of beating us, but Hellebuck was amazing. And I mean, McKinnon's quote was wrong, but not wrong. I know you're saying, exactly. I totally agree. I'm like, we were the better team. It was clear as day.
Yeah.
But you can't also be mad. Like, no, I mean, good goalies are part of good teams, right? Like, you can't be mad because you got outbeaten by a key component of a team. Like,
but you also play a game. So at the end of the day, the best team is the team that won.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we can all agree that it was good for hockey in general.
Absolutely.
Take away everyone's political bullshit.
Yes, we're not bringing that in.
No, I personally, for the love of sport and the rivalry of Canada and U.S. hockey, this was really good for hockey. Like, this is really good for future generations and the rivalries, and this is going to just make the Four Nations and any other tournaments going forward that much better.
Canada can't win every time, you know. And like, if we keep winning, then we're never gonna know what to improve fully on. There's going to be more
That's how I
focus on
feel
it.
too. Is I it's weird to say because we're Canadian. We all want Canada to win for sure. Like every time you get a goal, we get a gold medal. We celebrate the hardest, or like yeah. But if we just always win it, it diminishes how much it means to win it. So if you don't like America, that's fine. They're a huge hockey rival, but it is good for the sport because if we had won again, you'd still be like sitting there like everyone would go, "Oh, Canada won again." But now it's like also, a big event.
You also can't discredit the work that Team America has done now. I mean, I've been harping on the alley for years that their development program.
Yeah, the World Juniors are a great example over the last 5-6 years. Like Canada used to be that team that just dominated that tournament. We won like 7 years in a row at one point, and then in the last like 5 or 6 years, we've won like once. So it kind of, and it's not just U.S. I mean, Sweden's won one or two. Finland has become just more and more. It seems like
Finns is to me the craziest team out of all of them. Like America,
they're a huge country in sports and stuff. Yeah, when you look at the size of the Finnish population, I'm blown away at how good they're getting. Like, it's really impressive.
But America's roster was just so loaded, and they left so many people off the table too.
Absolutely,
so their defense. When you look at it, I was honestly shocked how good that defense.
Yeah, I think it was a good tournament overall. Like you can't, no one can disagree with that.
So. And hate him as much as you want, but man, Jack Hughes' goal, that's a moment for him.
Dude, it reminded me a lot of Crosby's goal. It was like a big defining moment for him as an American player. Versus Crosby, like that made Crosby's goal made him golden boy. I guess Hughes made him what is America's golden boy.
Well, it's funny you say that. He came back, and he's the second leading scorer since the Olympic break, only to Kuchera.
I was seeing a 5-point night last night.
He had a 5-point night.
And a 4-point night last week or something.
He's
lighting
not
it
a
up.
heater.
Yeah. Sometimes you need that confidence, right?
I know we're not doing politics in it. I get it. Like I don't think it's too political. It's just it's a shame the Russians weren't there. I get the politics, but it's a shame you didn't have that.
Yeah, just the truest best on best.
You have the top 4 goaltenders in the world are on that Russian team.
Yeah.
Just Ovi and Kucherov together on line would have been pretty cool.
Kaprizov.
What's Bobrov?
Huh? What's Bobrov? Bobrov's a goalie, but he's not it's Vasi.
Yeah.
Sorokin.
Yeah.
Shesterkin.
And Bob.
Oh,
How crazy is it that Bobrovsky, would probably be like the 4th goalie?
No, Bobrov's a back-to-back champion. He would be on the roster.
Like, nobody would say like out of those 4, if you were like, here's 4 goals, pick 2.
You guys would take Bobrov or Shesterkin or Sorokin over
easily.
He's about to win the Vezina. It's one of the two. It's not Bobrovsky. Yeah. He's got like a sub-890 this year.
No, for me it would be number 2 would be Shesterkin over Sorokin.
I don't. It's so tight. It's so ridiculous that's we're. You know what I mean?
It's like a rich man. It's
like this is nuts that this is a problem.
You know who we had? Binnington.
God, I know.
Logan Thompson.
Dude, before the tournament started, I said it. If we potted, it would have been the big thing for Canada is our goaltending. Oh, sure enough, we get to the final, and it was. I don't want to shit on Binnington.
He was fine.
It's just fine. Like he's not as good as Hellebuyck. He's just not.
Yeah, well, you know what? We'll get another shot at this in 4 years. I mean, I think next year or 2 years, there's like
World Cup,
whatever it is.
Second World Cup, and we're already like, all right. Because remember, the first World Cup was like controversial in the sense of like, is it a point to it? Blah blah blah. Now we're all like, let's go to number 2.
So we get a chance.
Tournaments.
My next topic is the overall youth resurgence here in the NHL, because we had a bunch of teams when we met in September that we kind of said these kids are too young. Obviously, this rookie class came in, and honestly, I think the biggest changeover this year is that the youth is here, and they're here to stay. Like the up and down, every single team you look at, either guys that they've stashed for years are turning a corner, becoming superstars. You have guys that weren't supposed to be here as rookies, blowing expectations out of the water. Even our shitty Canucks team, the brightest spot has been our youth.
Yeah.
It's been a massive youth resurgence, and I think it's made the league really exciting.
Yeah.
I feel like that sports go in kind of cycles of like clearly the youth coming in now are just so elite to the youth of the last 10 years in terms of like they understand the game, what they can do, all the like technical stuff, and it's beautiful.
I think a little bit is draft cycles too. You tend to get a couple years maybe in a row or pretty close together where you get a bunch of like franchise altering type players going not just one but maybe 1, 2, 3. So in recent years, obviously, it's been the hard draft, but then if you think of the drafts right before there, like the Lafreniere and Byfield draft, and like such drafts where like, you know, players that are NHL players, but they're not leading any NHL teams anywhere anytime soon. I think we're kind of also just going through a really nice patch of like multiple good drafts where we're just like seeing not just a lot of good young youth players, but just like future NHL superstars.
Yeah, it's cool because even Slavkovsky, who had by all means a rough first 3 year, quote unquote, he's now become like a point per game player.
Yeah.
Since Panarin got traded, Laf is now an over a point per game player for the Rangers.
Is he actually?
It's mind blowing. You look up his stats.
He's been on fire.
I'm happy
weird.
to hear that
Yeah.
because I actually really liked him, and he just appeared to be a dud for a long time.
But okay, so this is my thing with him. Yes, he lifted at a dud, but you had a top pick player who was supposed to be a creative player come to a President's winning team, Stanley Cup contender that had their top 6 fully filled out.
Yeah,
You're just not going to put that kid, right?
Him and Kakko were stuck on that third line for like 3 years. And it was just like, oh, why aren't they producing more? And you're kind of like, you're on the third line. Like, what is...
And then whenever they screwed up, they were pulled off the ice. So there was no leash for them to kind of do whatever they wanted.
And
the minutes.
And if you're a power forward, if you're a big boy coming through the ranks, you have to become a man before you can play in the NHL. Like, you get there and you're like, I bully everyone. And you're like, nah.
Because I look at Slav. Like, imagine if he didn't go to Montreal and he went to the Rangers. People were crapping on him for 3 years in Montreal playing top line minutes.
Yeah.
And he just put it together this year. But imagine if he was on the Rangers, he would just be getting shit on.
Yeah.
But Anaheim, I mean, there's that Seneca kid. Have you seen that kid?
No. He looks
he's really good.
His moves are just out of this world.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable.
I honestly think, like, if you look at specifically just YouTube, you can break down and learn so much about how to be good at skills. Mm-hmm. So I just feel like the kids that are coming in now are the ones that have been able to, like, they can be at home and watch a slow-mo video and tutorials of how to do everything. So things that you could never have dreamed of, they're just doing on the reg because they've just like grown up learning how to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's finally starting to hit.
A lot more self-taught now than they used to be able to.
Like, dude, even myself with soccer, I go watch these YouTube like tutorial videos of like how to do X and Y, and I'm like, oh, and then I go out and I do it, and I'm like, yo, that was like literally that's all I had to do was just learn that like technique, and then you like transfer that down into kids and things. And you're like, yo, they're just you're able to be just learn like the X into the knowledge is so crazy.
If you even boil it down to the most simple question, you ever get stuck when you were a kid going, oh, I wonder how to do that? You can actually just look that up now.
Yeah, exactly. In slow-mo, 4K.
You don't have to seek that skill out. You can literally find it.
Yeah.
Couple of team quick hits. Florida's been a dumpster fire this year.
Who would have thought?
I did not. I'm sorry. Connor, I think, did.
Barkov got injured right after the podcast.
Between injuries and knowing that they're just so spent, like, how would you not have a struggling year? Like,
to this degree, though.
It's also a tough division. Like, I just felt like
it
was
to win, because did they go back-to-back?
Yeah. But they went to 3 Stanley Cups.
3 Stanley Cups. It's just the wear and tear on your body. Like, you don't you don't get there without your body each time breaking down a bit more.
Yeah, and then lose
plus an Olympics, plus a World Cup of hockey, I think.
Yeah.
And lose your best player for the year.
True, and I won't go into it until the over-under pod, but I have a list of players that are basically out for the season for them. So we'll save that there.
I just want to say Barkov's such a G. We've all loved him forever, but I'm just so happy that he got his right justice. He doubled Stanley Cup. Like it did.
It really took him getting back-to-back cups for everyone to really appreciate how good he is.
Yeah.
But
He's the kind of player that you, unfortunately, until they win stuff, don't realize. Because we all knew he was good, but like once he got the cups, that's when everyone's like, "Whoa!" But we all knew. Like
similar, not maybe quite as good but like similar in my eyes. I know maybe Gabe appreciates him as much as like Sebastian Aho. Sebastian Aho is one of those guys. He's been so good for so long, and I just feel like if he ever won a cup, he kind of get his proper praises because I feel like he gets left in the dust sometimes.
Yeah, he just doesn't get any wingers.
No,
Like, it's not even that. It's just freaking.
He plays a stingy style,
and Brindamore wants to roll 4 lines.
But we all know that like if you played in a more offensive system, like Aho getting 100 points is not a thing to sneeze at. Like it's actually possible.
You know who I think would have been similar to Barkov if Kessler if we had won a cup. It's the same thing. Like people would have been like, "How great is he?" But because he didn't, you kind of like, oh, "Yeah, he's good," but you don't like get that
extra.
Next team I wanted to talk about was the Zombie Bruins. I brought this up multiple times with Connor. You just can't kill them. No. You just can't kill them.
Right when you think they should start the rebuild, they just somehow like muster up a good season, and you're like, okay, I guess you're not quite dead. And then, it's confusing.
It's just like the worst part about it is they're literally a reflection of our franchise because we met in 2011, right? Yeah. And they had the exact same management. We have the exact same management, and you can just see literally in real time the mismanagement because we're all on the same platform. So the top of the league. Mm-hmm. So since 2011, we all had the exact same path. And they've somehow figured this out much better than we have.
Okay, one thing I've genuinely wondered this for, I guess, 15 years now. What is the difference between winning a Stanley Cup and losing in the final of the Stanley Cup? I'm not saying like instantly we're the Boston Bruins because we win, but I just like in that parallel universe where we win, do we continue to have success based off of like we won, whereas we just clearly like...
I will say there's one key difference. We had an older core. Like they were quite a bit younger than we were at the time, right? You think of Marchand and Bergeron and all those guys. Like Krejci was up there a bit, and Chara was at his old days. But like our entire team was 30 plus or older. They were very much like mid-late 20 kind of thing. So I will say there's a little bit of a difference in overlapping primes of
for sure, but the rebuttal here is they went through a similar transition with an aging core.
Yeah.
After their most recent Stanley Cup appearance in 2018.
Yeah.
And then figured out how to reshuffle that. And we've picked high.
Yeah.
And have not figured out how to...
No, don't get me wrong. We have absolutely fumbled our...
Save it for the Canucks. I know you have thoughts.
Yeah, don't go on the Canucks.
I will say in 2011 they had a young Marchand and a young Bergeron.
That's what I'm saying.
So that's a different cycle. It's similar but different.
Yeah, it just feels like they had a cycle of cores that just injured. It just came in better than us. Like we had Horvat. That was it.
Yeah,
there was a report. Sorry, I will say. Apparently there was trades that were next offered for Kessler and Burrows, a combination of 3 firsts at one point. Like a year or two afterwards, but we were still going for it and we didn't make that trade. So going to your question, I saw something about that earlier this year. Gillis made that. I think it was Gillis who made that comment.
Dude, that's I know.
So
that,
3 firsts at that time.
I will believe that strictly based on the fact that the Canucks is the franchise that can't read the writing on the wall. So if we got 3 firsts and Kessler and Burrows are old, they're like, no, we can still make the playoffs and try. I believe 100% that. Anyhow, I shouldn't go. I'm not going to try.
We're gonna go into it.
Anyone that goes on a Canucks tangent,
just
try to stop yourself.
But speaking of the Canucks, the next topic here is how buttfuck awful the Pacific Division is this year. So here's some stats for you. 0 teams in the Pacific would be a playoff team currently today in the East. 0. Absolutely 0 teams. Try to guess who's leading the Pacific right now. Try to guess.
I know.
Connor knows.
Yeah. This is San Jose.
No.
Dallas.
But it's close.
Dallas. Central.
Sorry.
Central.
Oh my god.
Can I have a repick?
Yeah. You're not going to guess it, but you're close.
This is Seattle.
It's the Ducks.
To the Ducks.
No.
The Anaheim Ducks are number 1 in the Pacific.
It's wild.
Without John Gibson.
Which, ironically enough, John Gibson is on a team with more points and might miss the playoffs.
That's so funny.
Poor guy, man.
Poor John Gibson.
That just shows you you can't base someone's skill. You cannot base someone's skill.
But he's playing so good. Connor and I were talking about it.
His whole career.
Dude, you can't base someone's skill based off of their end, like where they ended, because like John Gibson's a perfect example. He just keeps moving away from success.
And he's playing so good this year. Connor was just talking about it. Like, poor bastard, like playing so good. His team has more points than the Ducks, and they might miss the playoffs.
That's crazy.
I think he deserves it.
Shouldn't have left. He's a quitter.
Yeah, he's a quitter.
Poor bastard.
Anaheim loves their hockey. They were so good.
You should have known when they got Radko Gudas, everything was going to be great.
And Kreider.
Yeah.
What did they trade him for?
I don't know.
Or was that a walk?
Gibson? Oh, I
So
don't
what's
even remember.
Edmonton?
Take, but it wasn't high.
They're a point or tied with the Ducks.
Okay,
Yeah.
damn.
Vegas is behind them.
This
Behind
is
them, yeah. They haven't. Vegas has won like 3 games in the last 2 weeks. or
this
something.
is
Well, they won
my
their last 2 since Torts
Yeah.
took over. But
This is
before
my
that, they
feeling.
lost
Oh,
like
man.
7 of 8.
this is my feeling about Connor McDavid. As a hockey player, undeniably the best, but I can never ever get behind him as long as he's on Edmonton. In my ideal scenario, because I also just fucking hate Edmonton. You guys, I've gone over. I'm not going to recap the story. You all know why. If he leaves Edmonton and then goes on to be the best even more, that would be my ideal scenario. I hope Edmonton loses.
You saw he threw shade at Noah Block last week. You saw
Oh, he's
that,
getting
right?
fired. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's getting fired.
Did he?
Yeah, Tampa Bay pumped him, and then they basically asked him like, what was the difference in the game, and read between the lines, he basically said like, this coach doesn't know what he's doing.
Oh.
Good.
Well, the GM doesn't know what he's doing. Why would you
Yeah.
get
He called out
dark?
the coach though, like he said like, he's like, they're a really well coached team. They know what to do in the offensive zone, like stuff like that. Where you're like, oh man, he. Really
It matters though. When you're playing at that level, like 1% more gets you a Stanley Cup. So
I've
you have to have the
seen
best.
absolutely nothing from Chris Knobloch to ever make me think he's a good coach. He went on to the most hottest team in the league when they had a bit of a stumble, and he got lucky and got hired. And then they went far in the playoffs, and then they kept him last year, and he went again. But it's like, oh, you load up McDavid and Draisaitl, and they get points. That's what makes you a good coach. Like, you know what I
just
mean? Like,
looks good on paper.
name me a single line he's created or a pairing he has on defense in the last 2 years that has stood out other than just loading up the 2 best
Well,
players.
Nurse's pairing is a minus.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Is that really a shocker?
No, that's a good way to look at it.
yeah, like
because
I
you're
look at
right.
coaches like, what can you mine out of a bad team, and what can you do differently with a good team that the coach before you couldn't do? And it's absolutely nothing. I've seen absolutely nothing from this guy to prove he's a good coach. So he's just been the benefit of like having the 2 best players in the world on his team. So
Yeah.
I'm surprised he lasted this long.
And then
but
with McDavid being on basically this year, next year,
they have to
He's
switch
gone.
coaches. They have
No,
to
he's
switch
gone.
coaches.
Do you think, okay, if
Knobloch's gone. They're going to give it next year, and if nothing happens after that, and they're on that last year of the deal, I have a hard time believing Edmonton won't start looking at.
they have to make the final, or else it's going to be a trade.
Do you
So
think? Do you think next year they're going to throw the kitchen sink in the trade deadline? Probably try to.
with what cap room though? I mean, the cap's going up $9 million.
Yeah.
So.
They're probably just
They'll
like one last go.
I mean, why wouldn't you trade every
have to.
first round pick you have in the
Oh,
arsenal?
the next 2 or 3 I'm talking
I would
about.
trade all 3. Yeah, if I'm Edmonton and I have
you only-
McDavid
yeah.
for one more
Yeah,
year,
you're right.
all 3 of my next first round picks are on the table.
Yeah.
You're about to
Because,
see a
like,
decade
well-
of darkness.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's about to go south.
matter what you-
Draisaitl's going to ask to go shortly after. I think we all kind of know.
And no matter what you do, you're never going to have Connor the best player in the NHL. So it always will appear.
Yeah,
just
everyone's
to
going
the
to talk
fans
about
first.
the fumble.
It is Edmonton. They
And if
shit
you're
out
going to
luck.
fumble it, you
They
better
do.
get the best return possible.
Yeah, true.
No,
Yeah,
dude,
true.
this would be sweet justice. Would be none of this happens. Connor McDavid leaves. Draisaitl leaves. Edmonton's in a dark period. It'd be sweet justice for the garbage that is the franchise of Edmonton.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
All right, some quick hits before we break and go into the Canucks. Panarin finally got traded. Went to LA. Funny enough, the Rangers have been actually a semi-hot team since Panarin's moved on, and the Kings have not figured out how to score. So figure that out. I mentioned before, it somehow unlocked Lafreniere because, surprise, surprise, playing him at left wing in his natural position, apparently that helps a player.
I don't understand why.
I got to say, with the Panarin thing, it was crazy because within a span of the week, Panarin got traded right before the trade freeze, I think, right? Before the Olympics. And Fiala broke his leg in that same, 2-week span.
Yeah.
Can you imagine right now with Fiala?
And Panarin.
And
I know,
Panarin.
I was thinking that too.
Man,
It
LA
kinda-
could have done something.
It does show you, though, how these guys are all so good, and it's just conditions that can expose the best and make you not as good. So Panarin's there. All of a sudden he leaves, someone else gets better because him leaving like allows you to do what you do.
Yeah, it just gets you that power play opportunity or that a couple extra minutes with that better center.
JT Miller.
Yeah.
I would be remiss to not mention this, but look at Kucherov, 124 points in 69 games, which is absurd.
Yeah.
I just want to clap.
His Q3, Q4 is just always insane.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
These are some fun stats for you. He has 95 points in 46 games since November 25th, which is the highest amount of points since Mario Lemieux had 112 in 45 games in 95-96.
I wish I didn't get to really watch. Like we were too young to appreciate Lemieux. Man, I wish because he basically was the bridge between Crosby and Gretzky.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Then two more. His 1.8 points per game leads the league this year. He is 2 points behind McDavid in 8 less games. And he has more 4-point games this season than he does have 0-point games. He has more 4-point games this season than he has 0-point games.
What? How many 4-point games?
I didn't tally it, but it was
It's probably like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Dude, I always think this. So, like, when I played sports, sometimes you play, like, in a way lower division. You, like, literally go out and get, like, a hat trick and 2 assists. Like, some crazy thing.
Yeah.
And then I walk away and I'm like, I feel so good. I don't care that they were so bad compared to me. And I, like, feel so good. How crazy must it feel that you do that in the best league in the world? Like, you must, like, because, like, when I do it, I'm like, chill. Nice.
I'm the best.
I'm the best. So you're doing that and everyone else is supposedly the best?
Yeah.
It is actually absurd.
That's crazy. That's the craziest stat I've heard.
Especially with, like, Cooch. One thing we kind of know from his personality, he doesn't strike me as the guy that maybe goes, like, the hardest in the gym. And he's not, like, the hardest discipline. You know what I mean? Like, he's disciplined. Like, any hockey player's in shape and disciplined.
Of course.
But, like, he strikes me as the guy who's not, like, it's just nuts that he's this good and maybe not even as disciplined as half the guys.
Smart and naturally gifted.
So it's funny you say that because he did he did an interview with The Athletic a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you saw this.
I didn't see it, no.
So he did an interview. He never does interviews.
Yeah, he never does.
So it was really weird he did one. And he talked about how, because they asked him, like, obviously everyone's catching notice now of, like, this absurd thing that he's doing, right? Yeah. And he had that 5-point night in Seattle, and The Athletic had an interview with him, and they basically asked him, like, what do you do in your off season? And he basically said, like, look, people think all I do is drink and party. He's like, I don't go out, I don't drink. He's like, literally all I'll do is sit at home and I'll watch tape. He's like, if you find me,
he's way more strict than I thought.
If you find me a defender, I know his tendencies against the boards. I know where they like to dump the puck. If he cycles one way,
he's a
I know
hockey
where
nerd.
to go. So he's like, now there's all these videos coming out. The Athletic did one where it shows him what he does, where it looks like he's doing nothing, but he's actually reading what the defender is doing, and he's getting into a position where he thinks the puck is going to cycle to.
Wow.
And so he does nothing but, like, that.
That's what Messi does, right?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Messi's known for the first 15 minutes of the game. If you watch him, he basically just stands on the wing or striker and just watches, and you'd be like, what's this dude doing? But what he's actually doing is he's just watching everyone do everything.
He's just reading everyone's tendencies.
But that makes sense to me, though, because I feel like, so in sports in general, I feel like there's 2 types of athletes. There's these, like, physical beasts, and it doesn't mean they don't know the game and they don't have the skills, but, like, truly their skill set is based on their physical prowess. And then there's the skill side of the game. And those dudes, it's like another level. Like, basically that. Like,
skill and study
maybe
almost, you know? It's like skilled, but, like, they study the skill.
And the thing is, too, they're all so fit. Like, if any guy that was in the NHL, the worst player in the NHL sat in a room with us, we'd all be looking at him like, I think this might be the fittest person I've ever seen. Right? Like, true. If they're not, they're on the list at least, right? Yeah. And so it's just kind of like that. But if you, like, that's crazy. That's so cool.
That's cool. I didn't realize his dedication was...
But he also doesn't talk, right?
Yeah,
so I think a lot of time people just talk, and then he's just like...
Well, all we see is him parading around his Stanley Cups getting hammered, so
maybe because his tolerance is low.
Probably. Drinks like 2 Corona Lights and fucking tanks.
Russian is dramatically a different language. Like, supposedly, from what I understand, you can't speak Russian, even if you spent, like Connor, you spent your whole life trying to speak Russian, unless you were born there, there's so much to it that's like intricate things you could never understand. So maybe I'm just speculating on this. I have no clue. Maybe the language barrier is just enough for him to not really like ever want to give an interview to.
I also think there's like a little bit of assholeness there.
Yeah,
like
and privateness.
Yeah, true. Privateness. Yeah,
he
no
does not strike me as an outgoing, eccentric person. He's pretty introverted.
Yeah.
So I think it's a combination of it's just like language barrier, introvert, and just even a little bit of that dry sidle in him, where he's kind of like fuck the media.
I saw an interview that Hagel did because I follow the Tampa Bay on YouTube, and so Hagel has turned into like a 90-point player, right? And no one thought in the wildest dreams, no one thought Hagel was going to be that. Yeah. And they asked him, like, what have you been doing? And basically he said, well, I got here, and in the first offseason at Tampa Bay, we bowed out of the playoffs to, I think it was the Avalanche that year, right? They lost to the Avalanche.
Right.
And he said Kucherov took 2 weeks off, and then he was back in Tampa training. And I asked him, can I come train with him in Tampa? And he's like, I'm here every day in the morning, at this time in the morning. If you're not on the ice by that time, you can't train. And so he started going every day. And then the other players like Sorelli, Destus, that Gonzalez guy, they all started doing it. And then there's this like thing where that whole team, for some reason, like from top to bottom, have all but like leveled up in skill. Like you look at their like bottom six, all those guys can score now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you only take 2 weeks off of your off season before training again, like that's not common.
If you're all like, I just assume that everyone that plays a pro sport isn't like alpha, like they're like trying to get better than the person in front of them, like that. I just assume that, and I can understand why that like infectious thing, like if you see a whole bunch of guys showing up early to weight train and whatever, and then you're doing that, but then you also see them being better than you, and you know they're better than you, it kind of like is infectious. You're like, fuck, I gotta get that too.
Yeah. Anyways, before we wrap on this section of the pod, we're obviously going to be going to the draft season. It's the only thing we have left to look forward to. We just, I don't know if you saw this, with the loss last night, we are guaranteed a top 3 pick.
Woo!
So we are guaranteed.
At least something.
Guaranteed.
Canucks did something right. We tanked properly.
Guaranteed third. Guaranteed third.
Yeah.
This is the best.
We always said we can't tank properly. Guess what? We tanked as properly as you can properly tank. Like, that's not bad.
I have a theory on this, but I want to see what your thoughts are. I don't want to pick third for sure.
No,
I think that's the worst because I know who we're getting.
Well, I personally believe if we're going third, there's a real chance we're actually trading
My
down.
opinion is Connor's, but it's because Connor told me. I just want to say
if we pick third, my opinion is we're going to trade down.
Okay.
Because we don't actually need a defenseman the way a lot of teams do, and a lot of teams will have no problem. Like, I just look at a team like I don't know, like, is there a way we could talk to like a Boston or someone and be like, hey, do you really want Keaton Vierhoff? Because I feel like Boston would treasure a guy like Keaton Vierhoff and be like, okay, give us the 7th overall pick and give us your 21st overall pick. You know what I mean? So you go from 3 to 7, but you also pick up 21. You go draft Caleb Malhotra. You got 2, 21 and 24 all of a sudden. You can go out and, I don't know.
Get the Twins.
The Twins are 2 really good wingers.
It's not
you know
twins,
what I mean?
Like, oh, yeah.
The Ruck brothers.
Yeah, Ruck brothers.
Like, man, if we ended the draft with, like, say, worst case scenario, we get third, we don't get McKenna, we don't get Stenberg, trade down, go pick up Malhotra, and get the Ruck twins. That is a hell of a way to do it.
That would be fucking crazy if the Canucks had another twin. I'd just be like, what is going on? Like, that's almost impossible.
They're BC boys this time, too.
That's even more
from the interior.